Welcome to Global Byte. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The global aviation industry is in turmoil, centered on a single crucial technology, the jet engine. The United States has blocked the export of engines powering China's C919 passenger jet, escalating the technology war between the world's two largest economies. This move directly challenges Beijing's ambitions to break the Boeing-Airbus duopoly and become an aviation superpower. The C919, a symbol of China's technological aspirations, now faces an uncertain future as its supply of advanced LEAP-1C engines is cut off. COMAC's assembly lines are at risk of grinding to a halt, with over 1,000 C919 orders thrown into chaos. Chinese airlines must now choose between waiting for a domestic solution or turning back to Western manufacturers. The stakes are high for both China and the Western companies that have long supplied its booming aviation market. This is more than a story about an airplane. It's about the weaponization of technology and the shifting balance of global power. The aftershocks of this decision will reshape the future of international cooperation and the aviation industry for years to come. Let's dive into how a single aircraft became the flashpoint in a global struggle for technological supremacy. The jet engine standoff is the latest chapter in the US-China technology war. Washington has long viewed China's Made in China 2025 strategy as a threat, accusing Beijing of unfair trade practices and intellectual property theft. In 2014, GE Aerospace was allowed to sell its LEAP engines to COMAC, symbolizing hope for cooperation. Even as tensions rose, the deal survived, until now. The US reversed course in 2025, suspending export licenses and citing national security concerns. This move was partly in retaliation for China's own export restrictions on rare earth minerals. The C919, once a symbol of potential collaboration, is now a pawn in a tit-for-tat economic conflict. The ban marks a shift from economic engagement to strategic confrontation. At its core, this is a battle over who sets the rules of the global economy and controls the future of technology. The US aims to maintain its edge. China is determined to achieve self-reliance. The C919 is now caught in the crossfire of these competing visions. The stakes go far beyond aviation. They're about the future of global power. The world is watching to see who will prevail. The C919 is more than an airplane for China. It's a national project, a source of immense pride, and a challenge to Western dominance. Every milestone, from its first flight to commercial service, has been celebrated as proof of China's industrial progress. Yet beneath the surface, the C919 is deeply dependent on Western technology. About 60% of its key components come from American and European companies, including critical systems from Collins Aerospace and Honeywell. Most crucially, the LEAP-1C engine, produced by a US-French joint venture, is irreplaceable in the short term. The US ban exposes this vulnerability, turning the C919's global supply chain into a chain of dependency. Without the LEAP-1C, the C919 is just an airframe, ambition without power. China's dream of breaking the Boeing-Airbus duopoly hinges on mastering this most complex technology. The paradox is clear. China's push for self-sufficiency still relies on the very nations it seeks to rival. The engine ban has made this dependence impossible to ignore. The next chapter will test whether China can truly build its own wings. The US engine ban has thrown COMAC's production into crisis. 18 C919 jets were in service before the ban. Now, future deliveries are in jeopardy. COMAC's backlog of over 1,000 orders from Chinese airlines is suddenly at risk. The plan to ramp up production to 50 jets per year is now impossible. Engine inventory will only cover a handful more planes. The assembly line will soon go cold, and airlines must scramble to adjust their fleet plans. Ironically, some may turn to Boeing and Airbus to fill the gap. The ban also hits American and European suppliers who stand to lose billions in future sales and maintenance contracts. The ripple effects extend far beyond China, disrupting global supply chains and business plans. COMAC faces the prospect of defaulting on delivery commitments, while Western partners lose a lucrative market. The decision has created a crisis that reverberates through the entire aviation ecosystem. The world is witnessing the high cost of weaponizing technology. Beijing's response to the engine ban was swift and defiant. The government condemned the move as economic aggression, rallying nationalist sentiment and calling for unity. China is using this crisis to justify a massive push for technological self-reliance, accelerating investment in domestic engine development. Behind the scenes, COMAC and its airline customers are in limbo, forced to reevaluate the entire C919 program. The ban has exposed vulnerabilities Chinese planners have long tried to overcome. The most significant response, a surge in state resources for the CJ1000 engine project. The message is clear: China must build everything itself to avoid future dependence. The US move has turned a long-term goal into an urgent national mission. The race for self-sufficiency is now a matter of national survival. The engine ban disrupts the globalized aerospace supply chain, built on decades of international cooperation. For US and European suppliers, China was the biggest growth market. Now, billions in investments and future revenues are at risk. The ban introduces political risk into what were once commercial decisions, making US firms less competitive globally. For Airbus, the situation is complex. Chinese airlines may order more A320s, but Europe's own reliance on US components is now in the spotlight. The ban could accelerate the fragmentation of the global economy into competing blocs, with nations seeking to reduce technological dependencies. This de-risking may lead to redundant, more expensive supply chains and less innovation. The C919 case is a warning. Any technological dependency can become a weapon. Countries and companies are rethinking alliances and supply strategies. The era of frictionless global trade is under threat. The world is bracing for a new age of strategic competition. The engine ban has sparked fierce debate among officials, industry leaders, and experts. US officials defend the move as essential for national security, arguing that short-term economic pain is worth long-term technological superiority. National security analysts say the era of unconditional technology transfer to China is over. However, many in the aerospace industry warn that unilateral export controls could hurt US innovation and cede market share to rivals. They argue that revenue from China funds future American research and development. Internationally, frustration is growing. European partners feel sidelined by Washington's unilateral decisions. The LEAP engine is a US-French product, but the ban was decided in Washington alone. This undermines trust and complicates efforts to present a united front on security issues. The debate reveals deep divisions over how to manage China's rise, containment, or engagement. The fate of the C919 hangs on these choices. The world is divided on how to balance security, innovation, and economic interests. The outcome will shape the future of global aviation. The engine ban has turbocharged China's drive for technological independence. The CJ1000, China's homegrown jet engine, is now a top national priority. Developing a modern jet engine is one of the world's toughest engineering feats, requiring years of research and billions in investment. China is racing to compress this timeline, but safety and reliability can't be rushed. Recent reports suggest progress, but commercial certification is still years away. The ban creates a valley of death, a period where COMAC can't produce its flagship jet, risking loss of skills and market confidence. The US hopes to halt China's progress but may end up forcing it to achieve true independence. The question: can China build its own engine before its aviation dream is grounded? The answer will define the future of the industry. The world is watching this high-stakes race unfold. As of January 2026, the aviation world is more fractured and uncertain than ever. The C919 engine ban has become a defining moment in the US-China rivalry, stalling China's ambitions, but at great cost to all sides. Global supply chains are disrupted, and the push for self-sufficiency is accelerating. The future may see parallel technological ecosystems and regional supply chains, making aviation less efficient and more expensive. The era of seamless global collaboration may be ending, replaced by strategic competition. The story of the C919 will continue to shape the rules of the 21st century global economy. We'll keep following every development in this critical story. What do you think the future holds for global aviation? Join the conversation.